What's up, guys? We are back with another G.I. Joe Classified series review, and while I haven't been keeping up with reviews, well, in general for Classified or with this particular type of figure, when it comes to this variant, I have to take a look. So we're taking a look at the Arctic Bat, because, you know, there has to be a bat for every occasion. Regular bat, crimson bat, Python Patrol bat, why not a snow variant? Now, this guy does come in closed box style packaging, and we know, of course, that that's going away. I really like the closed box for the Joe stuff because, I mean, frankly, so the art on some of these is just the best in terms of Hasbro in general right now, and this guy is no different. So you've got the closed box packaging, black and white motif, various types of artwork on the front with the accessory loadout up there as well. And then you've got, like, you know, a shot of the artwork on one spine. You've got sort of like a targeting reticle with a QR code on another. And then the back, in typical fashion, you know, gives you sort of a loadout of what he comes with. Showcases a few more little details about the bat as well. But yeah, despite the fact that it's a closed box, I do really like this one. So let's do it. Let's pull him out and take a look. And here we go, out of the package, our Cobra Arctic Bat, because again, there needs to be a bat for every occasion. And this one might be my favorite thus far. It might be. I really like this color scheme. I say that, and I'm honestly not sure that I have the Python Patrol one. I can't remember. There's just too many at this point to keep track of easily. But this guy looks awesome. There's a lot about it that I really like. A lot of it is just the color scheme in general. The white, the gray, the black, the little hit of blue. The chainsaw arm, though, this particular head, you know, there is new stuff here to make this one in particular kind of stand out a bit more. So let's see what he can do, see how he moves around, you know, especially for the uninitiated, I suppose. This isn't exactly new territory. We've got a head that can look up really good. The neck does move with it. Down really well also. You've got tilt, you've got full rotation, so great range at the head. Arms go out. I do find that these arms on this particular figure, I've only got one of these so far, I find that they're kind of tight going out at the arm like that. I don't have any issues like that on any other bats that I have, but both sides are very, very tight to the point where I was really worried I was going to snap the arm off. I'm not sure if that's a consistent thing across the board, but, you know, I don't know. Mileage may vary. Beware. We've got our rotation. You do have your butterfly joint there. There is a bicep swivel. They do have these new shoulder pads. They don't really get in the way. They kind of stop the arm from being able to go in as far as some of the others, but it doesn't really get in the way too much. We've got our double jointed elbows, so go all the way up, really good range there. You've got hinges, you've got rotation at the wrist, normal stuff there. We've got our ab crunch, so he goes backwards and forwards, and then you've got your ball peg waist, so it adds some tilt, and it adds even more range forward and backward, and then of course, it is your swivel point. Legs go out all the way. They are drop down hips. They kick forward all the way as well. The drop down does help that. They go backwards. You do have your thigh twist up there. We've got double jointed knees now. He does have some crazy pads down here, and these are going to get in the way. So you can get him to go about that far. Still pretty decent, but it could go slightly bit higher if that wasn't there. And then we've got a boot cut down here, and then you've got rocker. The rockers are okay on these. I feel like where the actual ankle moves is a little awkward on these. There's something kind of weird because of this piece here. So the hinge is only so far, and then that rocker is slightly offset to me. It always felt kind of odd. But otherwise, this guy moves pretty well. Like, I don't have too many issues with him at all. The only thing that was slightly odd is the shoulder situation. And again, it could be this particular figure. I'm not really sure. But both arms are acting kind of funny when I lift them up and out. Otherwise, you know, pretty par for the course when it comes to classified stuff. But really, this figure's all about the look and what makes this guy unique and different from the standard bat. So there is, you know, a lot that is different here. The color scheme, of course, is the major aspect that is different, but there are different pieces here as well. And of course, we do have, you know, different accessories to talk about. But just at face value, I kind of think this is my favorite. I really like this white and black. It's just really crisp. It works very, very well because, of course, it's also very, you know, robotic in nature. Just stark white, stark black, and then you've got a little bit of gray detail. But it's a bat, so it's already kind of got a leg up on some of the competition just because it's cool. You've got the exposed chest plate with that, you know, Arctic blue, for lack of a better term, metallic paint in there, which looks really good against all of the white. You've got all these silver accents. You do have added stuff here, you know, compared to the first figure. Belt is different. The like the stirrups on the legs or whatever these thigh pads are, they're of course different. The location of the holster is different. You've got these additional sort of shoulder pauldrons here which aren't added to the sculpt. They just fit over top of the bicep. Same for these pads. They just fit over top of the thighs, so they're able to be taken off and, put back on in terms of Hasbro swapping out those parts. You've got the same forearms, so same, Terminator-style forearms there with your exposed endoskeleton underneath. And then we have what is, arguably, at least for me, the coolest head sculpt when it comes to a bat. I really like this one. It looks, very, very techno, which seems ridiculous considering it's it's an Android. But this looks even more, cybernetic. It's got that sort of mono eye with all the little sensors around it, and just this black and silver and gray color scheme up there really, really does it for me. It looks really good. Paint is clean and crisp across pretty much every aspect of this guy. And then let's bring one of the regular bats in just for comparison's sake. I'm not going to do much more else as far as comparisons with this guy goes. But you can see, just how different these are. Of course, there are other bats as well, but this is the main comparison. You got a Crimson bat, you got Python bat, all that goofy stuff. Arctic and your regular, and these kind of go together pretty well in terms of that playing off of the colors. You do, of course, have a different head sculpt right now, but they look kind of like opposite of each other, the white versus the black, and I think they look pretty solid next to each other. I do, in particular, really like the addition of the metallic on the arms compared to that sort of just gray color that the first bats have. So there are a lot of things that are unique. There's a lot of things that are shared amongst this, and then there's little things like that that are changed from a paint perspective to make this guy stand out even more. Now, as far as accessories goes, the Arctic bat does come with a pretty solid spread, and it's very similar in many ways to what the other bats come with, but it's also unique. It's, kind of themed to this kind of bat. So to start with, we do get an extra head sculpt, and I really like the bat helmet to begin with. This is just done up in white and kind of arguably looks cooler to me this way. It's even got some branding on it. It says Arctic polarized on the side, which of course goes in line with what they've done with the visor to make it look, like it's been polarized. So of course, kind of like sunglasses. And I just like that look. I think it's really cool, and it stands out, especially against that white. It kind of pops. We do get a signature accessory with this guy in particular with the chainsaw hand, and you can't really go wrong there. That's obviously a big bat thing, is to get swappable hands with attachments and things like that. This guy gets a chainsaw. That's just cool. Works really well. It's got some metallic on it. Nicely sized. So this is cool. I'm really happy to see that. It's kind of ridiculous, and that's all that really matters here. We do get some extra chest plates, which of course is a very bat thing. So we get a clean white one with the Cobra logo. We get a broken one. We've seen this before with nothing on it. So this is just white with the battle damage. And then we get this one here, which is like a flak jacket kind of thing. And of course, these can be swapped with the other bats. This one is pretty cool. I do like this. And I really like the Cobra one in particular. That black on the white. It's just a nice contrast. We do get a couple actual guns too. So he has a pistol sidearm, goes in the holster on his leg. It's just done up in a flat gray. And then we also get this big monster sniper rifle with, it's actually got like a stand that pops down on it. It's got some white paint on it. It does have a strap so it can go over his shoulder or over his back. It's really big too. Of course, it's a sniper rifle, so it should be. Nice sculpting on it though. Tons of detail all over this thing. I don't know that I'm ever going to really use it with him because chainsaw arm, but this is a cool inclusion. And then of course he does come with the backpack. This is, such a bat accessory. Like, it's a signature thing. They have to have it. His feels kind of unnecessary though, because he has nothing that can go in there. None of these accessories go in or on the backpack. So you could obviously use the other bats accessories if you got stuff lying around. I'm sure I have some that definitely could be used here. But it feels like, it's just an empty thing. It doesn't get used. Nothing can peg into the bottom. Nothing can peg into the top. The chainsaw hand doesn't really go there. It's not meant for that. So he does have it. And of course, it's important to see it on a bat. But at the same time, it feels, I don't know, it feels less substantial because he doesn't get anything to actually go inside. But otherwise, a pretty solid spread of accessories. And ultimately, it's all about the head sculpt and this hand, the chainsaw hand for me. It just makes him look even cooler. So yeah, overall, this is a really solid figure. I do have a couple gripes. He's not perfect. There's something weird with those shoulders for me in particular. Not sure if this is a widespread thing, but it just feels off when moving those arms. I'm kind of slightly worried about him. But otherwise, moves really well. Looks fantastic. Again, probably my favorite of the classified bats we've gotten so far. I really like that white, the black, the silver, that pop of blue. Love that head sculpt that this one has here. And then, of course, it does come with a really solid array of accessories. I would have loved to have seen, however, more use out of the backpack. The backpack is just sort of included and doesn't really have any function because none of the stuff actually goes in there. But it is kind of an important thing to have for the Bat because it's one of their signature items. So otherwise, pretty solid figure. One that I will, I'm sure unfortunately army build to a degree that is entirely unnecessary. But I do love Bats, and this guy is another instance of just more good stuff. So that's going to do it for this look at the G.I. Joe Classified Cobra Arctic Bat. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.